Welcome to My Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to My Asshole Podcast. It is Thursday, and you know we got Thursday. Got that book, baby. So the last time that we left off on chapters, I believe, 23 and 24, our girl went out on a little datey date, and that little datey date ended up in, her getting filled up. Yeah, I mean, let's keep it PG for the children in the back, please. So, yeah, she had quite the, a date, let's just say that. If you guys missed last week's episode, definitely go back and check that episode out. I am going to get a, what's the name? I'm sorry. Spotify playlist ready for you guys. I will try to have that done before this gets uploaded. So, as of this episode being uploaded, as you're hearing it now, there should be a playlist down in the description for you guys for this book. Sorry it took me so long. I've been dealing with so much other stuff, so it's taken me a little while to get to the playlist, but the playlist on YouTube still exists. So there is a playlist on YouTube if you want to get caught up on the book and all that kind of stuff. You guys can do that. The playlist is over there on YouTube. It's not linked down in the description, so I do apologize for that. Just go to the link tree, go to YouTube, go to playlists on our YouTube channel. You'll find Haunting the Hunter. All the episodes will be there, okay? So I do apologize. I will get that Spotify playlist up and going for you guys. But yeah, like I said, by the time this episode comes out, I'll have it. It'll be linked down at the bottom of the description so you guys can have the full playlist on Spotify. All right, wanted to get that out of the way. I know there's been people kind of messaging me back and forth through comments and DMs and stuff like that. Where's the playlist? I can't find the playlist. Is there a Spotify playlist? Why is there no Spotify playlist? I do apologize. I will get to that. That will be done, like I said, by the time this episode comes out. So, but yeah, without further ado, though, let's get into our thread for today. Today's thread is, what's a green flag you thought was cute at first, but then realized it was a red flag? All right, let's see what's up. Mirroring. At first, you think you're a perfect match, then the mask comes off. Yeah, look. This is why I always tell people when they ask for dating advice or they ask for, I don't want to say like guidance, but they just ask for a different perspective. They kind of want to just get like, hey, I'm dealing with a situation, blah, blah, whatever. A lot of times I tell people, I'm like, look, what a lot of people want to find, or what they think that they want to find right now, is a person that mirrors everything. Like, oh my God, I am this and you are this too. Oh my God, I am this and you are this too. Oh my God, we are perfect. I always tell people, find somebody who is just different enough to where they're able to teach you things, that you're able to see the other sides of things, you're able to kind of see different perspectives of things, try new things. Like me, I hardly ever date girls that like the same things that I do. I hardly ever, I'm a very introverted guy. And a lot of the women that I've dated have been very extroverted. And what's great about that is they get me out of the house. They're like, oh my God, babe, let's go do this thing. Even when I don't want to really be out of the house, even when I don't want to go there, I'm there just like, oh my God, I can't wait to go home. I got to experience something that I never thought I would get to experience. I never, got to see this certain side of, myself, which is really great. And so it's one of those things where if you can't get along with somebody that can show you a different side of even yourself, then if I'm being honest with you, that's just not your person. That's not your partner. People harp far too hard on this whole, they have to be just like me. I expect me out of the person that I'm dating. And it's like, no, bruh. No, because you're going to literally rack your brain. You're going to kill yourself over that. And what I mean by kill yourself over that is just, you're going to constantly be hurt over and over and over and over and over again, expecting you out of this person. You say your love language is acts of service, and this person is just not giving you acts of service at all. And you're just like, bro, what the hell? Like, what is going on here? It's like, that's because their love language is not acts of service. You know what I mean? Their love language is something different. And when you're able to kind of learn that other love language, it kind of allows you to see things from a different side. And them as well. They're like, oh, wow, you know, my love language is X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? As to where, you know, your love language may be something different. And so, like I said, I used to, my love language is like spending time together. And I dated someone that their love language was acts of service. And for me, I didn't really know how to do the whole acts of service thing. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to do that. I was like, you know, and she would kind of show me how to, hey, these are things that I consider acts of service. These are things that I like. And so I kind of learned off of that. I'm like, oh, all right. And vice versa. I was just like, hey, you know, my ideal love is, you know, quality time. And she's like, oh, all right. And I meant quality time in the fact of like, I want it to be where we can be in the same room, but we don't have to interact with each other. Like, I'm on my computer doing my thing, whether I'm working or playing a game or whatever, and you're reading a book or you're watching a TV show or you're doing something else. Or it's why I want to do the whole, like, his and her gaming setups so fucking bad. Reason being is because she doesn't have to be a gamer. You know, even if she's on it watching TikToks or she's on it, you know, looking at Pinterest or reading a book or, you know, whatever it may be, the fact that we're in the same room, spending time together, doing completely separate things, I think is great. I think that's something where it's like you're able to enjoy the quiet moments. You know what I mean? I see so many people harp on this whole, they have to like everything that I like, and I just see them so miserable. And I'm like, dude, sorry to say it, but like, you're not going to get you out of somebody else. You know what I mean? You have to be able to like see that person, you know, and their differences and learn from them. You know what I mean? If you can't do that, well, you know, sucks for you, dude, because all you're going to do is get fake people like this person. You know what I mean? Where they will pretend to like something that you like. They will pretend that they care about something that you care about, when in reality they don't. They really just don't. They're just saying that to get something out of you. They're just saying that to, you know, get close to you. And it's like, is that what you really want? Is that type of relationship you want to have? I know I don't. So I'm just saying, you know, that's why I think the whole idea of everything has to be like similar, I just think that ain't it. It ain't it, fam. What's a green flag that you thought was cute and then it became a red flag? There is such a thing as being too agreeable, too nice, and too differential. What seemed like dating a very easygoing person at first quickly dissolves into being in a relationship where you are making every decision and never really knowing their opinion about anything. Facts. This is the reason why nice guys finish last. All right. A lot of times guys think like, oh man, why do nice guys finish last? Oh man, why is it that, you know, I can't get a girl to stay with me? Oh, why does she get bored with me? Why is this? Why is that? Because you never give your honest opinion. If you never give your honest opinion on anything, well, she doesn't know what you're thinking. She doesn't know what you want. She doesn't know what's going on up here. You need to be the guy to be able to kind of put your fucking foot down. Women love it when you fucking put your foot down and you kind of put them in their place and let them know what's up. And if I'm being real with you, like, if you're that guy that she has chosen to be in a relationship with and she has chosen to be her leader and she has chosen to, you know what I mean, be under that wing of, like, you kind of got to be that guy. But if you're just that nice, soft, oh, whatever you want to do, babe, and any do you want to do this? If you want to, I'll do it. It's like, nah, man, we are doing this, we're gonna do that, put on that, meet me at this time. And she's like, okay, all right, yeah, sure, okay, oh yeah. I'm telling you, the amount of times that I've been interested in a girl and I've kind of just had that straight brute force like thing about it, like, hey, yo, when are you free? Oh, I'm free Tuesday and Thursday. Cool. Thursday 8, wear a dress, you know what I mean, we're going here. I'll be, do you want me to pick you up or do you want to meet there? Oh, you can pick me up. Cool. I'll be there at this time. You know what I mean? It's like, sure, you'll ask her certain questions because certain questions, you want to have like what's called security checks. A lot of guys, I think, gloss over these, and, that's what kind of like fucks them up. But when you have like these security checks of more of like, do you want me to pick you up? Do you want to meet? Or, you kind of are just cognizant of just, things that would make her feel a little uncomfortable maybe. For you kind of have to be able to like implement those security checks in there. And also it flows the conversation a little easier as well. And but like I said, girls like that stuff. Girls like it when they don't really have to think about anything. It's just kind of done. You know what I mean? It's just done. It's there. It doesn't matter. And so when you're just that kind of guy, it's like, you know what I mean? You're good. You're chilling. Like a lot of dudes don't really understand the importance of kind of having that assertiveness about it. You know what I mean? A lot of guys think being assertive is like, oh, I have to be like rough and tough and I gotta yell at her all the time. Nah, man, it's just telling her what it is. It's like you have a plan, you execute that plan, you let her know what it is. Like honestly, that's what women think is good communication. I kind of agree with them, for being honest with you, like that. Because look, women are very terrible communicators. That's why they look for it in men. And when you're that type of guy that communicates effectively and diligently, it's like you're able to just boom, here it is, here's what it is, this is what I need you to do, boom, we're done. Because I think a lot of guys, what they're afraid to do is to give their girl direction because they think that it is being controlling, or they think that is being, I don't know, misogynistic or whatever. I don't know. They just think it's negative. And in reality, it's not. It's you being in your masculine, in your role for your girl. Like, bro, she wants to have a leader. She doesn't want to have, her equal. Let's be real. Women don't want their equals. They sit there and say, oh, I want an equal partner. No, you really don't. You don't. You want a guy that's taller than you. You want a guy that's smarter than you. You want a guy that's more inquisitive than you. You want a guy that has more ambition and drive than you. You want a guy that has so much more than you. You don't want a dude that's your equal. No woman walks around here talking about, man, I can't wait to just find a guy who makes just as much money as I do or less. No, they just don't say that. And honestly, the girls that say they don't mind a guy that makes the same as them, come on, bro.
Why the fuck you lying?
Because you lying. You know you're lying. You want a guy that makes more than you. You want to kind of feel that like subordinateness of it. You just do, because women like that. Women like to feel small. They like to feel, because it makes them feel cute, and they're just like, ooh, he's big, he does this, and oh, that's my man, and like women like that crap. You know what I mean? They like that. And look, if you can't be that, bro, it is what it is. That's why nice guys finish last. Women want assertive men, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? It'd be pissing me off so much when like dudes will sit there and they'll pretend like women don't want like assertive dudes. They don't want guys that are gonna like take charge and do all this stuff. It's like, bro, quit lying to yourself, man. Like, quit lying to yourself, because you are. You're lying to yourself. But hey, I digress. But yeah, that's why she's like so right that there's such thing as being too agreeable. There's such thing as being, because they look at it like, man, you a bitch. I ain't gonna lie, kind of a bitch. What is a green flag you thought was cute until it was a red flag? That outgoing personality was really attention-seeking behavior. A lot of girls run into this issue. A lot of girls want the guy who's the life of the party. You know what I mean? Everybody has eyes on him. They're the loudest one in the room. They're the funny dudes and this, that. They're the ones, oh yeah, oh, what's up? What up? You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, girls fall for that crap. And I always tell a lot of them, I'm like, you want to know why it didn't work out with that guy? Is because he has your attention already. Now he wants everybody else's, and to include other women's. Let's be real. You know, like if you have a life of the party kind of guy, well, be ready for him to want to be the life of the party for other people, and other people is also girls, you know, is also women. So it's like, again, I mean, I like I said, I get wanting to date somebody who's outgoing and wanting to date somebody, but there has to kind of be a limit to it. You know what I mean? He can be outgoing, but at the same time, he picks and chooses that time. You know, you guys may be in a friend group and stuff like that, and he more of just is able to bounce off of, you know, friends and stuff like that, and tells funny jokes, and, you know, like there's being outgoing, but there's a limit to it. When your guy is just overly, you know, loud and overly attention seeking, yeah, odds are the relationship really is not going to work out with that dude, because one of two things. One, that dude is easily an alcoholic. Oh, goodness. Oh, sorry. One, that dude is a big alcoholic. All right. Every time that I see one of those guys, or every time I know a girl that is dating one of those guys, or anytime, you know, I interact with one of those guys, they are always the drunkest dudes ever, man. Those guys fucking drink beer like it's water. Those dudes have just no self-control. Or they are the type of dudes where, you know, they look at it like, I need everybody to kind of look at me, because if they don't look at me, you know, I'm going to feel less than I'm going to feel less than the people around me. I wouldn't necessarily say it's insecurity. I would just say it's more of just a lack of their ability to, like, hold hierarchy. Because with men, you know, we look at it like, we understand the hierarchy. We understand, all right, you know, that dude, he's kind of the top of the brass because he's just that guy. It is what it is. Then you got that guy over there. Then you got this guy over here. And when you're that guy, when you got to go through the hierarchy and you realize you're the guy at the bottom, usually it's the guys that are at the bottom of the hierarchy in the room of men that are the loudest. Usually the men who are more at the top brass, they're kind of the quiet ones. The reason being is because they don't have to be loud. They don't need to be loud. They know, like, nah, man, I command the room with my presence. I don't need all that. You know what I mean? But a lot of women, for some reason, gravitate towards the loud guy at the bottom of the hierarchy, and they wonder why dude's a bum. They wonder why dude's a loser. They wonder why dude's an alcoholic. You know what I mean? They wonder that. And that's why I say it's not really insecurity that brings that out. It's more of the fact that they understand, damn, I'm at the bottom of this hierarchy. I got to do something to stand out. I got to do something for attention. You know, I have to show that I could be up there with them too, you know, and it's not. It's just not the way it is. You know, we look at him like, bro, like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, you're making yourself just look ridiculous. Like, what the fuck, you know? But again, like I said, girls fall for that crap. Why? I don't know. I really don't. It's PSA to you ladies. You know what I mean? The louder the guy, the more of a alcoholic he is. And honestly, the lower of a male that he is compared to the others in the room. Just the way it goes, bruh. Just the way it goes. All right, it's a green. What's a green flag that you thought was cute until it was a red flag? All right. Let's see. So laid back and relaxed, but also unbelievably lazy. Don't worry about it. It will be fine. Yes, because I will be the one doing fucking everything. Yeah. Okay. I love when women do shit like this. When they will kind of like they will kind of paint the situation without really understanding both sides to it. In a relationship, a lot of the times, like, when you set expectations for the relationship, you know, if you're the type of person that, you know, you're just able to, or you're, I don't want to say able, but you're willing to kind of just, you know, get all this stuff done and just do and everything. You kind of create like a, let's say, I'm trying to look for the word. You kind of create a, I don't want to say precedent, but you kind of create like a expectation, if you will, of like, oh, okay, cool, like, you know, this is what she does, you know what I mean? And so as us men, we're very like predictable in that. We look at it, we like to be in a kind of situation where things are predictable. They're easy for us. We're like, oh, okay, cool. We know that that's what she does. This is what she wants me to do. If you're the type of person that does not want to be in that kind of relationship, you have to be able to kind of work together. Look, I've always said it that if you're a guy and you're in a relationship and your girl works, well, guess what? You split the house chores. You don't get to tell her to do everything, cook, clean, and do all that shit. Nah, nigga, grab a mop. You know what I mean? Or you get some gloves on and bust some suds. Because the thing is, bro, if your girl is going to work, she's just as tired as you. You got to be able to do that. Now, if your girl isn't working, you know what I mean, and you go to work, you pay all the bills, then yeah, bitch, you better be getting on them knees and cooking and cleaning. What are we talking about here? Fuck you been doing all day? I'm a firm believer on that, because I think where it comes in is a lot of relationships, right? And I do believe that it's a lot of guys. It is a lot of guys, if I'm being real with you. A lot of guys will sit there and they will be like, oh, it's a woman's job to cook and clean and do all this stuff for the household. Steady, they have their girl working. And it's like, bro, you can't have her doing all of the house chores and have her, working and contributing at the same time. If you want her to be that, well, you need to put her in a position where she doesn't work, or she works selectively. You know what I mean? Because the thing is when you are in that position to ask for that, then yes, it makes sense. It even makes sense in her brain. But when she looks at you like, nigga, I work the same amount of hours as you, the fuck I gotta do all this for? You know what I mean? I see these videos all the time, and my first question is always, okay, is she working? You know what I mean? Because if she's working and that's the dynamic, nigga, you better go get a mop. You know what I mean? You better bust some suds, motherfucker. What you talking about? But if you're that guy in that position where you are paying all of the bills, you are taking care of the household 100%, then yeah, hey, girl, better stop complaining and get in there. You know what I mean? Like, that is the dynamic. I think there are far too many guys, though, like just like in this situation, where I guarantee you she was working, he was working, they were maybe not contributing equally, maybe he was contributing a little more than she was, but the fact is that she's working, bro. You know what I mean? You're not taking care of the full brunt of that, so that way all she has to do is take care of what's going on in the house. Because look, a lot of women, even though they would sit there and say, oh, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't cook and clean, I wouldn't do da. When they're actually in that situation, they're like, yo, this ain't that bad. You know what I mean? They're like, wow, I could do this. This ain't that bad. I actually like this. There's a lot of women that I know that are in situations like that, that are, even women that have written into the show, have, talked to me and stuff like that. They're just like, yeah, I actually didn't think I was going to like the whole housewife staying at home kind of thing. But like, once I started doing it, it was nice. Wasn't that bad, And I always tell guys, I'm like, bro, in order to have that, you need to be in the position of full responsibility of the entire household. Because if you don't, and she has that responsibility, bro, look, man, you're, even if it's just, like I said, even if it's a thing where it's only, even if it's a thing where it's only, like say, he's taking 70, she's taking 30, let's say that, still, that is a thing where she's still working. She's still putting into it. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, you can't be in that dynamic asking for that. Too many guys do that crap and it'd be pissing me off. And I guarantee that's what it was. I don't think he was a laid back guy. I don't think he was just, oh, it's cool, it's fine. No. He was doing all that because he was in the mindset of just like, yeah, no, this is what a girl is supposed to do in a relationship, even though you working. That's what it really was. Oh, stupid. Like, bro, come on, man. All right, what's a green flag you thought was cute and then saw it as a red flag? Nonchalant. I took it as he's so easygoing, but in reality, it's actually more like, wow, he'll never care enough to try or put in effort, even for his own self. Damn, man, this is another one. Oh my God, bro. Look, he didn't like you like that. That's what happened. I'm going to tell you now, sweetheart. Look, nonchalance from a guy is a green flag. Okay, nonchalance from a guy is a green flag, and I'll tell you why. Nonchalance from a guy is the type of guy that's not going to sit there and push you to do something that you don't want to do. He's not going to put you in a tough position. He's gonna look at it like, hey, I treat my girl as an individual, and even though I will have boundaries and things like that set for her, I will set the boundaries for her. If she decides to cross those boundaries, it is what it is. I'm just going to move on. I'm not going to fight this girl. I'm not going to, get into toxic ways and all that kind of stuff. Nonchalant guys are the type of guys that they look at it like, look, as long as, we're abiding by each other's boundaries, as long as everything in the relationship is good, it's manageable. Look, we're going to have some tough days. We're going to have some not so tough days. And as long as we can kind of just, move through it, have conversations, talk about it, it's great. But what a lot of women don't realize is women are so used to the idea of all men want me, all guys want to be with me. Anytime a guy talks to me, that means he wants to date me. He's giving me date energy. He's trying to ask me out, this and that. Like, you guys get this thought in your head that like all these guys want a relationship with you. And in reality, some guys are able to just kind of get far enough to where they're just like, I don't really have to do much because I'm attractive, or I might be tall enough, or I have monetary attractiveness that whatever it is for her, that she looks at it like, man, this guy is super attractive, like I'm about it. It's the same idea of like, if a weird guy walks up to you at the bar and he says, hey baby, how are you doing? You're like, no. But if an attractive guy walks up to you and he says, hey baby, how are you doing? You're like, ooh, hi, how are you? It's the same concept. You know what I mean? So again, it's one of those things where it's like, he just wasn't really into you the way that you thought that he was. Because for him, he looked at it like, oh, I don't really have to do much to get this girl. I don't really have to do much for her to, want to give me, girlfriend vibes or relationship benefits or anything like that. Cool. Why? Because he might be attractive. He might be tall. He might be well off, or, he might be doing something. There is something he's doing, or something he has, or something, that is, she is like, I am attracted to that. I'm hanging on to it. You know what I mean? And he's kind of just like, all right, cool. If she wants to be here, then she wants to be here. It is what it is. If she leaves, then she fucking leaves. I really don't care. I don't like her like that anyway. The thing is a guy that actually likes a girl, he is going to put that effort in regardless. He's going to do that. He's going to put the effort in, and you're going to see the effort. You're going to know the effort. It's going to be very, very different from a guy that, doesn't really like you that much to a guy that does like you. And watch, you're going to notice the guy that actually likes you, he's going to be very nonchalant about things, but you're going to see a lot more effort in it. You know what I mean? He's gonna be very laid back. He'll be very chill, and he's just, oh babe, I happen to see this, thing on Instagram. I know you said that you liked X, Y, and Z. How about we go? And you're like, oh wow, oh yeah, sure, I'd love to. He's like, all right, cool. I'll pick you up, and we'll set it up. You know what I mean? He's very nonchalant and cool about it, but he's putting the effort in. A guy that doesn't really like you like that, he's kind of just like, you're like, oh, do you want to go and do something? He's like, I don't know. Do you? If you want, we can. I don't really care. You know what I mean? And you're just like, ugh, golly. But you're staying because you're like, he's tall. He has money. He has this. There's something that's kind of keeping you there. And a lot of women sit there and they're like, oh no, I would leave immediately and this and that. They don't. It's why they get stuck in that. So like I said, case in point, it's just that he was not into you. That's really what it came down to. He was just in a situation of like, cool, if you're here, you're here. If you're not, I really don't care. But a guy that is actually going to like you in that way, you'll see. He'll be nonchalant, but he's going to put a little effort in there. You're going to see he's going to do stuff for you. You're going to see that. You know what I mean? I always say it, these very pushy guys, these guys that are like, oh my God, this is like the 5th day in a row. He's texting me, asking me out. Those are dudes you don't want to be with. Okay, those are the guys that are trying to hit it and quit it. Because the thing is those dudes are so thirsty and desperate that they will sit there and text you 5 days in a row until you finally say yes. And then you finally say yes, and you get on a date with them, and you want to know what's going to happen? Oh, so since I like bought you this food, are you going to like put out? Or he's going to be like, so, it's like your body count, like I don't want to date a whore or anything. Oh, so like, I was thinking you and me would like take this back to my place, or the famous, oh, so you're gonna cover half this bill, right? Like, I'm a feminist. You're gonna get that. Those are the pushy guys. That's the opposite of the nonchalant guy. All right. So you either find the nonchalant guy that's actually into you and recognize the effort that he puts into you, or you go with the pushy guy, and then you go on the first dates and you have to deal with the guy. You're over here pushing a fucking emergency necklace talking about get me the fuck out of here. That's your choice. Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you decide. I'm just going to give you the tools. You decide. All right. This will be our last one for the thread, and then we'll get into the book. What's a green flag that you thought was cute until you found out it was a red flag? The fact they didn't want me to have a job. She was well off and was about to get a well-paying job, and she told me she didn't want me to have to work. Seemed great at first until I realized she wanted it to be that way, so I would not have any experience, no financial backing, so I would be reliant on her, and therefore seemingly could not leave her without a major financial backlash. I guarantee you this woman was married. I fucking guarantee you she was married. Alright? You want to know how I know this one was married? Is because I guarantee you the previous guy that she was with, he probably had a job but he didn't make as much. She probably looked at it like, he's attractive. Maybe, he was maybe a couple years older than her, maybe a couple years younger. You don't know. But, he was enough for her in the, I guarantee you attractiveness, like the looks was her thing. That's her number one thing. I guarantee you it. If it's not money, it's guaranteed looks. So I guarantee you this guy had the looks about him. He probably made, let's say she made 120. He probably made let's say 70. And she was just like, I don't care how much money he makes. He's a good looking guy. He's tall, handsome, all that. I don't really care. This dude probably, since he's good looking, guess what? Other women find him good looking. He cheated on her. She was just like, fuck, man, I can't really divorce this guy because, if I do, I'm going to lose my money. I guarantee she's a smart woman and she understands that because women will go to lawyers about this stuff, without even telling the guy. So she probably went to a lawyer, was just like, hey, I need to get out of this relationship. Casanova over there is cheating on me and it's fucking sucky. And so then the lawyer was probably just like, well, if I'm being honest with you, you didn't really make him sign a prenup and he could go after 50% of your assets and your money. Like, that could be a tough thing for you. So I'm just letting you know, what I mean? And she's like, oh, shit. All right, well, I guess we'll have to figure that out. We'll have to see what's going on. I think what happened is for him, he looked at it like, well, I went ahead and met this younger girl, Jordan, over here. And, like, me and her are kind of, doing our thing. So, yeah, I want a divorce. And she was the one that got divorced. And so, and I'll guarantee you, he probably won some kind of monetary, thing, whether it have been maybe half her money, a quarter of her money, something like that. He took something from her to the point where it gave her this mindset of just like, yeah, okay, I'm going to date a dude, like, I need him to kind of just be a straight bum. Like, he can't get a girl even if he tried. Yeah, I need him to be so unemployed, it's stupid. And I guarantee you the whole looks thing was probably out the window for her. I guarantee you she was probably just like, yeah, if I'm going to get another guy, I want him to be, I want him to be a bum. I want him to be not as tall. He could be decently good looking. And it's weird how some women get that. I mean, this is very rare. Let's be real. This is very rare. But there are a lot of women that, do kind of go down this road or even think about this road because it's kind of a possibility, like, didn't really have much luck, dating the Casanovas and being with them, constantly got cheated on, and they kind of think about it. Some women go down the road of, I'm not going to lower my standards, but some are look at it like, fuck it, I'm going to lower my standards and I'm just going to control the relationship. And I think that's kind of her. She looked at it like, I'm just going to fucking control the relationship. Oh, well, So, yeah, man. That's kind of what that was, brother. I can honestly tell you that was her mindset, and that's where she came from. Guarantee you she was divorced. Fucking guarantee you it. But that's going to be the thread, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the thread. You guys let me know what you thought about the thread, and if you have a situation where there was a green flag and then it turned out to be a red flag, let me know down in the comments, man. Let me know down in the comments what you had going on. I don't really think I had. Well, no, I never really had one that was like a green flag and then it turned to a red flag. Not really. No, a lot of times I'm just like, yeah, it's a red flag, and it's going to kind of stay that way. Yeah, it is what it is. But okay, hop through announcements, and we'll get right onto our book. So, patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show. All right? Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support. I appreciate you guys so very, very much. And then if you want to help out even more, go ahead and download the episodes, rate us 5 stars on your preferred platform, as well as subscribing to us on YouTube, following us on Instagram and TikTok. All that stuff is free, and I appreciate it. It's all linked down in the description. And without further ado, let's get into chapters 25 and 26 of Haunting the Hunter.
5. Cade. I parked the truck half a mile out, killing the lights and slipping out into the darkness. The walk through the forest is slow, dense, with low visibility. Good. That works in my favor. Pushing branches and brush aside, I hit a clearing with a narrow path that cuts through, leading towards the house. I glance up, the trees splitting just enough to reveal a clear night. No clouds, stars spilling across the sky in sharp silver constellations. I creep closer to the house, but something feels wrong. The forest is dead quiet. No crickets, no wind, no rustling, just silence. It's fucking creepy. Then it hits me, this pull. A sudden, overwhelming urge to turn back, to leave. Every nerve in my body lights up, screaming that this is wrong. This is a mistake. I turn, instinct driving my movements, only for the sensation to snap like a thread, gone as quickly as it came. The pendulum against my chest vibrates, buzzing faintly against my sternum. The weight settling, the panic fades. I still have no clue what this thing does, besides tethering me to you. But that was new. I shake my head and continue forward. The tree line breaks ahead and I crouch down, watching the property. Jack's intel checks out. 3 main guards with cameras on every corner. No blind spots yet. Someone's definitely monitoring the feed. The black Cadillac in the driveway confirms it. Benjamin's here. Jack dug deep. Benjamin's family launders money through antique auctions, art deals, dig sites, and restoration projects. Artifact smuggling. A front. How deep the Covenant ties go is admittedly still unclear, but I know this much. He's Rosa's right hand. He's brutal, rich, and untouchable as the head of Teller Enterprises. I shift, angling my head, but freeze, my eyes narrowing as I focus. A faint shimmer wraps the house. Thin and glistening in the night air, like heat waves off asphalt. What the hell is that? A knot tightens in my gut. This isn't paranoia. This is magic. I remind myself to breathe, wait for Jack's all clear. The plan is for him to loop the camera feed and catch the next guard rotation. Get in and get out. Cameras are set. Jack's voice filters through my earpiece right on time. 2 guards at the front, 1 east by the alley. You have an entry point on the west side, 1st floor window. 2 in front, 1 east, nothing on the back or west despite the cover. They're not expecting me, but they are expecting someone. That's clear as day. I move up slowly, slipping behind a tree. Dry leaves crunch underfoot as I drag the mask up. A matte black half mask stretched into a sharp-toothed demonic grin. covering just enough to hide my scar. A ski mask would have sufficed. I mutter into the comms, feeling ridiculous. Come on, it's Halloween. Jack shoots back, voice grinning in my ear. I even convinced Callie to dress up. She's at the downtown festival. The girl needed to get her mind off. Well, you know. My chest tightens and I still. She went alone? I growl, almost ready to turn back just to throttle him. Nah. He sounds far too casual about my sister's safety. Some guy she met from the gas station picked her up. Killer costume, too. Chill. Her phone's being tracked. Be grateful she's not in our ears right now giving both of us hell. I release a sharp breath. Yeah, because you know what's good for her, isn't that right? I concede grudgingly. No, I don't. But I care about both of you. Drop it, Jack. You started it. I roll my eyes. This is no time to be petty. At least she's distracted. I shove the worry and bitterness down and set my sights back on the house. The cool wind stirs the trees, muffling my steps as I creep around to the back. You got eyes inside? I ask, my voice barely a whisper. Only 4 cams, front and back, no movement. But keep an eye out. I crouch under the west window and test the latch. It's unlocked. My stomach twists. No one leaves a window unlocked out here, not unless they're sloppy, or it's a trap. Carefully, I shove the window open. The wood sticks, groaning, but gives enough for me to slip through. My feet land on thick, plush carpet. I stay crouched, looking around to find an empty room with a bookshelf and 2 lounge chairs. I turn to shut the window, and a shadow cuts across the glass. My breath stalls for a moment, but no one comes. I lock the window, backing further into the room. A light is on. A dull golden glow spills from the hallway ahead as I creep forward. Always clear, Jack says softly. Make a right. There's a door at the end of the hall. You'll need to pick it. I move quietly, wincing as the floorboards creak beneath my boots. I kneel at the door, lockpick sliding into place before I fiddle with it. Click. I open the door to an office, the smell of fresh paint stinging my nose. There's a desk sitting in the center of the dark room and a suitcase on the floor. A laptop sits open, waiting, casting a soft blue glow into the room. I slip into the chair, the cushion sinking beneath me as I pull out the USB Jack provided and plug it in. Lines of code that mean nothing to me scroll across the screen. Give me a few minutes. Oh, wait. Fuck, Kate, someone's coming. Find cover now. I quietly close the laptop, being sure to leave the USB where it is and scan the room, seeing a closet with bifold doors. I hurry from the desk on light feet and squeeze inside the small space, sliding the door shut just as the lock clicks. I hold my breath as the door creaks open, the sound of heavy footfalls entering the room. I'm almost in. Stay hidden, Jack mutters, voice strained, tense. We need this guy alive, he reminds me, again. Through the slats, I spot him. Not a guard. A large man in a fitted black suit. Clean, sharp. Benjamin Teller. He strides in, grabs the suitcase, and walks out, locking the door behind him. I'm in, Jack exhales with relief. Wait, this doesn't make sense. Static chews the feed and my stomach sinks. Cade, no. Get out. We've been intercept. Crackle, then nothing. Silence hangs in the air until... Hello, Cade. A smooth voice hums in my ear, confident and almost bored. I was hoping we'd run into each other. My stomach caves and I fling open the closet door and bolt for the window only to find it's been sealed. Shit. Not gonna talk. He chuckles in my ear and I grind my teeth. Credit where it's due. It took my witch over 15 minutes to jam your comms. You're good. Damn good. Wouldn't have got it if Genevieve hadn't spelled the grounds. Benjamin Teller, I growl, turning to face the room once again. Cade Holloway. His tone softens into something like amusement. Call me Ben. No need for formalities. I hear your name so often, it feels like we're old friends by now. What the fuck do you want, Ben? I snarl, running a hand through my hair. See, my boss wants your head. I snort. They can join the club. Planning to deliver it? Not exactly. You're my leverage. Now that your friend's inside my files, he'll figure it all out soon enough. But you're going to help me. I begin pacing like a caged animal, trying to calculate my escape. Why the hell would I help you? You're just another Covenant lapdog. I grunt, going over to try the door. Locked. Yeah, about that. I'm not as loyal as you think. He clicks his tongue, voice still amused. Rosa? She's unraveling. Not shocking considering her daughter is dead and her husband is rotting in the desert. It was necessary. Oh, I'm not judging. He laughs, sounding almost gleeful. Honestly, I'm impressed. You've got balls. Get to the point, I snap, going back to the desk and leaning against it. Simple. I give you what you need to finish the job, and you help me disappear. My family's ties to the Covenant have long since soured, and I've grown tired of them. I laugh, but the sound is anything but happy. I don't know you, and I don't trust you. Trust isn't part of the deal. Information for freedom is. He pauses, his voice going mockingly soft. You do want to save your sister, right? Isn't that what this is all about? Big brother, doing the right thing. I drift back toward the window, testing it again. And you just want out? I confirm, keeping him talking. That's it. I don't give a damn what happens to them. But Rosa, she suspects my hesitance, hence this fucking dump. Middle of nowhere, heavy security, the magic barrier. His voice lowers and then echoes in my ear and behind me at the same time. I tense. You've got someone to protect, and so do I. Metal clicks, cold steel pressing against the back of my skull. I'll help you. My voice turns razor sharp as I remain stock still, my hands curling at my sides. But you need to let me leave. Yeah, not gonna happen. I twist, lunging for his wrist when pain explodes against my temple. I see stars as everything tilts and I fall to the ground. My ears ring as warm blood runs down my face. Benjamin stands over me, revolver in hand. And behind him, a woman holding a tire iron. Straight red hair, freckles. Pale as porcelain, the scowl on her face looking like a permanent feature. Fuck. I can feel myself losing consciousness, the room going blurry around the edges. Callie. She was right. Benjamin crouches slightly, tilting his head as he watches me. I hold his gaze as I feel myself slowly blacking out. As I said, I need you as leverage, he hums softly. You'll understand soon enough. Something sharp pierces my neck, a cold fire racing down my spine before everything fades to black. Chapter 26. Cade. I'm falling. Another dream, it must be. I'm alone and it's quiet. So quiet that my heartbeat fills my ears, pounding against my head. I lay there surrounded by a void and it's consuming me, eating everything that I am. I slowly sink down, the surface below no longer supporting my weight. Panic rises in my chest as I try to shift, attempting to grasp for something, anything. My body slowly sinks into the unstable ground like quicksand. I reach out into the void in vain. I feel my body submerged into a thick weight, pressing into me, pulling me under. The sensation reaches my face, pulling my head down despite my desperate protest. Suddenly a light appears, far above me, and it rushes down, fast as a bullet, into my chest. The pressure fades and I slowly rise. Not flying, just floating, like something is holding me, guiding me up. The light pulls from my chest and hangs in the air, pulsing like a heartbeat that's not my own. Relief washes over me as I feel it. That warmth, that calm. My little ghost. Where am I? My voice echoes dully. The void doesn't answer, just the sound of my own breath, too loud in my ears. I try to trace my last memory, but my mind is blank. The light bursts, spilling into a shifting smoke, soft and glowing. The smoke reaches out, caressing my skin. I feel you. How the fuck can I feel you? I reach out, clutching at the smoke, but it slips through my fingers like it's teasing me. A hum stirs under the surface of my skin and the smoke curls around my arms, across my chest. My skin prickles at the sensation, like electricity radiating through my body. I shiver involuntarily at the feeling. I look down at the glow clinging to me, iridescent, fading, and unreal. You're beautiful. The smoke curls around my body and seeps into my skin slowly, and I see my house. I see Callie. She looks scared as she paces Jack's office, her hands in her hair. Why is she scared? How am I seeing this? I turn my head to see Jack typing away at his computer, fingers flying over the keys. But in my peripheral vision, I see something else. I narrow my eyes, trying to focus. A massive black figure in the corner is looming behind Callie, surrounded by smoke. What the fuck is that? The vision rips away as suddenly as it came, and I'm swallowed by darkness again, the smoke bleeding out of my skin. Was that real? I ask, my voice echoing once again. No response. Speak to me, I plead. Please! What is going on? The glow pulses, then flares, searing white hot behind my eyes. Then it's gone. I feel myself slam back into my body. My head is spinning as the memories rush back to me, flooding my mind. I was taken by Benjamin. That vision, I saw Callie and Jack. But I saw something else. Something was with her. My eyes drag open in a slow, uneven blink. I try to move, but find myself bound to a chair, duct tape over my mouth. The room is dark, lit only by a dim lamp in the corner. Brick walls, no windows. The air is stale, metallic, smelling of blood and mildew, most likely a basement. The door cracks and light creeps in. The heavy hinges groaning as it creaks open all the way. The silhouette of a man steps into the room. You're finally awake, a familiar voice says cheerfully. My brow furrows as his features sharpen. He reaches out and rips the duct tape from my mouth. I thought you wanted help, I spit out, face stinging as I glare up at Benjamin. The blow to my jaw is immediate, sharp and ringing. My head whips sideways, vision spotting as the room spins. This is you helping me. As I said, you are my leverage. Now keep your fucking mouth shut if you want to live long enough to make it through this. He snarls, all false cheer gone from his voice and face. I don't respond. Clearly he has his own agenda, otherwise he wouldn't have given me the information he has. So I'm just supposed to trust you? I say, ignoring his warning, blood spilling from my mouth. Something like that. Another hit. The chair topples and my skull cracks against the floor, my shoulder taking the brunt, bone grinding against concrete. Pain bursts hot down my spine. He bends down on one knee and speaks to me softly. This is necessary, sadly. Boss's orders. She wants me to rough you up a bit. But I imagine you can take it. He smiles at me like we're buddies. You see, she needs information that you have, and I need to know you aren't going to talk. I choke out a laugh. Fuck you. It barely comes out as words, mostly just air and blood. I taste copper as my head rings. Perfect! He claps me on the shoulder and I groan. Let's hope you can keep that attitude. He lifts the chair, sitting me back up. I watch as he pulls out a pair of brass knuckles. My thoughts lag. My body is slow to respond to the ringing pain. I feel like I'm underwater. Maybe I'm already dying. You need to be ready. This is nothing compared to what she has planned. He says it like he's doing me a favor, but then he swings again, brass knuckles connecting with my temple. The world doesn't spin. It just cuts out completely. I'm falling again, but it's not cold this time. It's warm, soft, like sinking into silk and static, like my body no longer matters. I'm in my bed, I think. Moonlight spills through the curtains, but it feels too bright, too quiet, like everything has been muffled. My skin twitches, anticipating another blow, but it's warm, gentle. No, not pain. There's heat on me, wet and slow, lips wrapping around my cock. A breath shudders from me. My brain can't catch up. It's too much, too sudden. Hands roam my stomach. I flinch under their touch. My nerves raw, confused, like it shouldn't feel this good, but it does. Fuck, it does. I move before I can think, flipping, pressing their body beneath mine on instinct. How can I feel you? It's not you, not really. Just a dream, one I will take advantage of. My hands find your back, firm between your shoulder blades as I pin you down, gently at first, then harder. Like I'll lose this if I'm not careful, like I know it's slipping. I slide in deep. I can't see you, but I don't need to. The sensation of you alone is enough to break me. My cock throbs with each slow thrust, heat gripping me tight, the slick pressure unreal, like velvet strangling me. Too good to be real, too good to stop. You're fucking made for me. That thought cuts through the haze, feeling obsessive and wrong. Fuck yes, just like that. My breath catches as the pressure builds, nerves buzzing under my skin like live wires. I stay there, cock twitching before I draw back just enough to feel every ounce of pressure dragging along my length. Then I drive forward again, slow and forceful, a groan ripping from my throat. Pain hums somewhere in the background, distant, a bad signal that I attempt to ignore. Fuck, I growl, my voice cracking. I come hard, grinding in deep, clinging to the feeling like it'll anchor me. When I finally still, I'm shaking, then exhale hard as I collapse. My hand drifts over skin, searching. My fingers gently brush along a shoulder, moving up the neck and to the jaw. You're so soft, I whisper, my voice raw. I pretend, just for a second, that this is real, that I could actually have this with you. I feel myself falling back into consciousness, the pull slowly dragging me from you again. No, I don't want to go back. I fight against the pull, desperate to stay buried in the lie that feels better than the truth. Please, just a little longer. But it's gone. The warmth, the stillness, the dream. My chest aches, my limbs cold. I blink and I'm back in the dark, alone. No, not alone. A faded glow hovers in front of me. I squint, uncertain if I'm awake or still trapped in some fever dream. Are you really here? My voice is a rasping, raw thing in the quiet. I feel like I'm unraveling. The smoke shifts closer, slow and deliberate. A hand forms, misty, barely there, and rests on my arm. Coming from it, I feel a strange mix of confusion and concern. It's okay, I sigh, wanting to comfort you instinctively. I promise. My head spins, the edges of the room blurring as disorientation digs its claws into me. A gentle caress traces my skin, brings my awareness back slightly. I had a dream about you, I whisper hoarsely, the words dragged out with a dry, humorless chuckle. Pressure again, soft and grounding. My face stiffens as the haze lifts, just enough for the pain to return. My shoulder throbs as I adjust, my jaw clenching against it. Why do you stay? I don't deserve your comfort. My words are as bitter as I feel. Warmth settles around my shoulders, a phantom embrace. Goosebumps ripple across my skin and I flinch. It hurts, but the pain dulls, like you're trying to soothe it away. Frustration tightens in my chest and my words are rough with it. You've seen what I've done, little ghost, yet you stay. I search the air for judgment, for disgust, for something that reflects the monster I know I am. But I find none. Only empathy. Why don't you care? I shout into the silence, my voice echoing around the empty room. You know what I am. Why do you still make me feel? My voice cracks and I lower my head, filled with shame. Loved? I don't trust this. I don't trust anything. Fuck. But I want to. The pressure deepens, not possessive, not demanding, just here. I scoff, the sound breathy, bitter, defeated. You haven't left. You've seen the worst of me and still you stay. Somewhere along the way you became the only thing holding me together in this. And I need you. I ramble weakly. The truth of it sinks deep in my chest. I was raised for a mission, shaped for a purpose. I never let myself want more, never believed I deserved it. But now, despite everything, I feel it. Hope. And it's because of you. Pain pulses through my temple and I grit my teeth, forcing my head up. How long have I been here? I try to take in the room again, scan for details, anything useful, but my vision tilts, everything's swimming. My eyes flutter, heavy, and just as I'm about to let them fall closed, the door in front of me bursts open. 2 men enter, Benjamin and another, and behind them a woman dressed in an all-white suit. Her hair is pulled back in a neat bun, and she looks polished in the dirty room. She steps ahead of the men and looks me up and down with a straight face. Rosa White, I presume, I say, my voice coming out broken and deep. She spits in my face, calm, unbothered, then lifts the hem of her skirt, slow and methodical, revealing the holstered gun strapped to her thigh. You do not get to speak. Monsters do not get words, they get cages. Her voice is steady and poised as she paces around my chair. You took my husband from me. My baby girl, you left me nothing but purpose. You do not speak to me. She stops in front of me before pulling the gun free and placing the barrel under my jaw. Then she lowers her lips to my ear and whispers, You are going to suffer for what you have done, Cade Holloway. Pressing her gun harder into my jaw, she snarls, And you are going to tell me where my sacrifice is. I force my head up to try to meet her gaze, but my tired eyes struggle to stay open, to focus on her. Looks like Ben has done his job well. Too well. She stands and turns to the men, anger in every line of her body. I need him alert enough to talk, she says accusingly, hands on her hips. It'll wear off just in time. He'll be sharp enough for what you need, Benjamin says with assurance, casually leaning against the far wall. With a single deliberate nod, she pivots on her heels, but pauses just before reaching the door. We will start tomorrow. Tonight. You will stay with him, Ben. She turns, her gaze pinned on me. You've done well to bring me a gift, she says to Benjamin, her voice smooth. But one act of obedience doesn't earn trust. Not with me. Leaning in, she pats Benjamin's cheek, as if mocking him, treating him like a good pet. Come now, Frank. She flicks her fingers in a lazy wave and the other man hastens to her side. The two disappear through the door. It shuts with a hollow thud, leaving Benjamin and me in ringing silence. I'm not going to babysit you, so don't do anything stupid. Wouldn't dream of it, I say dryly, coughing, blood on my lips. You joke, but I mean it. I need you alive, asshole. This will only work if you do exactly as I say, he says seriously, hands shoved in his pockets. Please enlighten me on your plan to keep that bitch from killing me. My head rolls to the side, aching, my eyes heavy. It's all about timing. I need her to trust that I am on her side. I'll fill you in on the details when it's necessary, he says, over his shoulder, tone bored as he exits the room, not giving me the chance to ask anything further. The door clicks shut, and I am alone again, with only the ghost that refuses to leave me. I don't trust him, and Rosa is unstable. That makes her impulsive, dangerous. The odds of me surviving this are not high, and I could accept that if I knew Callie would be safe. After everything I've done, Rosa has every reason to want me dead. I made myself into a monster so I could end the covenant, so Callie could be safe, only to end up in the hands of the very people I swore I'd destroy. I failed her when we were kids. I will not fail her now. I will do what no one else is willing to do, what our parents failed to do. Let them take my body. Let them tear out what's left of me. If she survives, if she escapes them, then I'll die knowing I finally did one thing right. I am a monster, but I am the monster they made, and I will make them fucking choke on me.
Chapter.
All right. And that has been today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Love you guys, and I appreciate you all. I will see you guys tomorrow if you're a Patreon member, or if you're a paid Patreon member, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you on Sunday. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Love you guys all, and peace.